Today is April 2nd, and guess what? It's International Children's Book Day. I don't have any International Children's Book, but you know who is international? Me. My grandmother came from Switzerland, and so in honor of International Children's Book Day, I'm going to read you my grandmother's favorite poem. All of us grandkids grew up hearing her say this poem. She had the whole thing memorized. It's long and it was delightful. Enjoy. Dear Brother Ben, I take my pen to tell you where and how and when I found the nest of the old speckled hen. She would never lay in a sensible way like the other hens in the barn on the hay, but here and there and everywhere, on the stable floor and the woodhouse stair, and once on the ground her eggs I found, but yesterday I ran away, with mother's leave in the barn to play. The sun shone bright on the seedy floor, and the doves so white were a pretty sight, as they walked in and out of the open door with their little red feet and their feathers neat, cooing and cooing more and more, while I went out to look around on the platform wide, where side by side I could see the pig pens in their pride, and beyond them both on the narrow shelf I saw that speckled hen hide herself behind a pile of hoes and rakes and pieces of boards and broken stakes. Aha, old hen, I have found you now, but to reach your nest I don't know how, unless I could creep or climb or crawl along the edge of the pig pen wall. And while I stood in a thoughtful mood, that speckled hen cackled as loud as she could and flew away, as much as to say, for once my treasure is out of your way. I didn't wait a moment then. I couldn't be conquered by that old hen. But along the edge of the slippery ledge I carefully crept, for the great pigs slept, and I dared not even look to see if they were thinking of eating me. And all at once, oh, what a dunce, I dropped my basket into the pen. The one you gave me, Brother Ben. There were 2 eggs in it, by the way, that I found in the manger under the hay. Those pigs got up and ran about with a noise between a grunt and a shout. And when I saw them rooting, of course I slipped and lost my footing and tripped and jumped and finally fell right down among the pigs pell-mell. For once in my life, I was afraid, for the door that led out into the shed was fastened tight with an iron hook, and Father was clear down in the fields by the brook, hoeing and weeding his rows of corn, and here was his Polly, so scared and forlorn. But I called him as loud as I could. I knew he would hear me, he must and he should. Oh, Papa, oh, get your old pigs. Oh, Papa, oh, their mouths are so big. Then I waited a minute and I called him again. Oh, Papa, I'm in the pig pen. And Papa did hear, and he threw down his hoe and scampered as fast as a father could go. Those pigs had pushed me close by the wall and munched my basket, eggs and all, and chewed my sunbonnet into a ball, and one had rubbed his muddy nose all over my apron, clean and white, and they sniffed at me and stepped on my toes, but they hadn't taken the smallest bite when Papa opened the door at last, and oh, in his arms he held me fast. And that is the tale of the old speckled hen. My grandmother was from Switzerland, and so that's why we've got these little Swiss things. So that's my story for tonight. I hope it leaves you with wonderful, happy dreams. I love you. Good night.